Hi, folks. Lee Pacchia here, and you're watching Between the Lines, part of Fault Line's effort to take a look at the cracks in America's criminal justice system. I'm joined today by Chris Seaton. He is a criminal defense attorney based in Tennessee, and he's also one of our contributors at Fault Lines. Chris, welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you again, Lee, and welcome from the 93-degree scorching heat in Tennessee.
Yeah, that sounds brutal. You guys are in it, so to speak. Wanted to
Sure.
talk to you about your article that posted today on Oakland's police department. They've had three police chiefs in recent memory. What the hell's going on in Oakland?
That's a good question, Lee, because nobody's really quite sure. This all started out with the suicide of an Oakland Police Department officer named Brendan O'Brien back in 2015. Apparently, he'd been engaged in intimate relations with an underage sex worker named Celeste Bois, and he implicated four other Oakland police officers were involved in that as well. Now, depending on who you talk to, if it's in the police department or Celeste Bois, there could have been as many as four, could have been as many as a dozen. What we do know is that Sean Went, the first Oakland chief of police, resigned almost as soon as this scandal broke, that he knew about it and basically did nothing to stop all of his police officers from sleeping with a prostitute and exchanging text messages saying when and where stings would be had so she wouldn't get arrested. The next successor was a guy named Farrow, and it didn't take him 6 days to be replaced for personal reasons. And the last guy to go was
Why was he replaced? For what were the personal reasons? Do we have any idea?
well, that's just the thing. Even with the last replacement, acting police chief Paul Figueroa, who has resigned again for personal reasons, Mayor Libby Schaaf down in Oakland is not telling us what's going on. She just keeps saying, I'm sorry, there's conduct that's wholly inappropriate for the police department here in Oakland. And now she's placed the city administrator, someone with no law enforcement experience whatsoever, inside as acting police chief, essentially. And that's what makes this interesting, because it signals to the public that there's something so wrong in Oakland that law enforcement can't even be trusted to basically police themselves. And you have to have a city administrator, a civilian, do it for you. But yet the mayor, she's saying nothing other than this is wrong, this is bad, we're sorry, we're doing everything we can to fix this. Hopefully I won't have to fire anybody anytime soon. It's this wall of silence that's infuriating, and I think it's infuriating to the Oakland public as well.
So projecting out over coming weeks and months, how do you see this going? Is fourth time the try, or is fourth try the trick?
I think you're going to see a lot of resistance from the Oakland Police Department, largely because they're going to want somebody with a badge and somebody who's gone through the training and understands what it's like to be a cop. And we all know, because of the Ferguson effect and everything else that we discuss at Fault Lines, that being a police officer is just an incredibly horrible, difficult job. So I don't see the city administrator remaining as top cop for very long. I do see somebody coming in possibly from the outside to actually who's got law enforcement training and experience to become the new top cop in Oakland. But I don't think it's going to happen until Mayor Schaaf decides to really take a close look at what's going on inside her department.
At what point does blame start to extend to the mayor's office?
I think it already starts. To be perfectly honest with you, I think it already starts. She has the information. She knows why these men resigned. She knows why these men were taken out in a span of 6 days and 3 days, respectively, following Chief Wentz resignation. Now, this is information that the public wants to know. We've already seen, Lee, on a regular basis, trust in law enforcement in this nation is at an all-time low right now. And the only way to account for that is transparency and accountability. And yet for Mayor Schaaf to say, I want to let you know that we're doing everything to fix this. This guy's gone. But to not give concrete answers and come clean, that's just a bit of a problem for her. I think she's got some explaining to do herself.
Okay, so over the short term, what are you going to be looking for in this story to get some clarity on where we're going?
I think short term, the city administrator is going to be in a position where she's got to deal with a lot of angry police officers that are going to be very obstructionist in a lot of things that she does and says.
Okay, so this city administrator really has her job cut out for her going forward. Looking at what she needs to do in taking control of the Oakland Police Department, how is this supposed to go?
This is uncharted territory, Lee. I honestly can tell you, I think from the start, she's going to have to conduct some kind of internal investigation. She's going to have to see exactly where some of these text messages played out, with whom and where, and we're going to need to see some firings happen. I mean, there will be a lot of job losses I see in the very near future for the Oakland Police Department. And then because you can't, it just won't happen. You won't have a civilian city administrator like Senator Lambeth running the Oakland Police Department for very long. Mayor Libby Schaaf's going to have to appoint a new police chief, probably somebody from outside Oakland, probably somebody from outside the Bay Area completely, and then clean house. And maybe that's not a bad thing, Lee. Maybe it's...
Sure. But it's not easy. I mean, has the local union weighed in on this yet?
Not yet, as far as we know. No, it's not been something that's been said, but I would honestly think, and it doesn't take much of a stretch of the imagination to see this, that possibly the reason Mayor Schaaf's not said as much could be because of the police union's involvement in the entire situation. I mean, they are charged with protecting their own. So,
and they do a very good job of it
all the time. And every time Mayor Schaaf has come out and said something about this scandal, it's almost seemed as if she's wanted to say more, but she's constrained by something. So I'm hazarding a guess here, but it's an educated guess. It could very well be the Oakland Police Department's union hanging over her head.
Chris, thank you for your time today, sir.
Thank you, Lee. It's always a pleasure.
If you'd like to see Chris's article on this topic, you can find it at mimesislaw.com under the Fault Lines tab. That's what we have for this week. If you'd like to see more of our stuff, again, go check us out at mimesislaw.com under the Fault Lines tab. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you're listening to us as a podcast, do us a favor and write us a good review in iTunes. It makes all the difference in the world. If you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor and subscribe to this awesome channel. There's more good stuff coming. I'm Lee Pacchia. Thanks for watching. See you next time. This is the philosophical point of the conversation where we ask ourselves, what should Washington, D.C. be doing? Something very different from what they are doing today. If you could come up with something that they should be working on now, today, that they're not, what would it be?
Well, what I said during the debate on the CISA bill